So Matt, we're here today at the Evolution of Farming Grower Conference here in York, and you gave the opening statement today, and you talked about the need of growers to manage their data a little bit better for some of the opportunities coming up. What are you talking about there?
Yeah, we are now in an era that data is, you heard the term, data is king. And we have to start treating it as important as any other input that we're doing out in the ag world today. And it's going to start driving more and more decisions, more than we've ever had in the past.
So I'm Tim Mundorf, Director of Soil Management here at Central Valley Ag, and today I'm here with Matt Hesse, who is the President and CEO of FieldReveal. So FieldReveal, of course, is a lot about data, both the soil test data, which we've used for a lot of years for variable application, but also working a lot with yield data now, and you really see yourselves as kind of a data manager or data hub per se. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, we got started back in 1998 and the importance of getting the information right. When we started, it was about defining soil characteristics. And what that has led to is, from the beginning, was nitrogen use. That's where it all started, and it's just interesting. Now we're back to full circle, where nitrogen is becoming more and more important than just getting it right from how many pounds of N per acre you're gonna put on. The whole market, as it moves forward, and the eyes on the market just need to make sure that we're doing it as efficiently, as effective as we can. And now it's leading into getting the information and taking the data and taking the yield data and now compiling it and putting out the right recommendation for the following year, or making that map that much better for years to come.
It seems like we're hearing the word traceability a lot more than we used to. How does mapping software like FieldReveal, how can it help us with traceability, as the cooperative that's dealing with the grain and helping the farmers market their grain?
Yeah, we just had this conversation this morning on this topic, where if we don't have the information to begin with, we're kind of stuck. And now when we start getting into understanding what we've put on the fields and where we put it on the fields, and as more companies, big companies, start getting into the mix of driving what they're looking for, meaning what products were used on that field, how are we tracking and tracing that information? And we always start with having the foundation right. And we can't build a house or a building without a good foundation. Soil is that foundation for that crop for that year. And we're able to now show that to companies because of the way that we've basically characterized and mapped it out over the last 20 years to say, here is what you can expect from this, and here is the information that has come over that acre or that zone that we call it. And now it provides us the information to provide back to whoever's looking for proving it that this was done and that was the action taken.
Yep. And the end users of those data are different people than, say, the agronomy companies or the cooperatives or the ag retailers that might have used it in the past. A lot of times we're talking about ethanol plants, we're talking about food companies, we're talking about ingredient companies, we're talking about feed manufacturers. It's really the whole gamut of feed, food and fuel now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you look at this particular area, and one of the exciting things is the diversification of the crops. So if you look at the white corn or yellow corn or whatever it might be, the opportunities are going to become endless of what that looks like. So now you start taking in, what we heard this morning, the white corn, what kind of products does the average consumer buy? And that's what it's coming down to. The average consumer is becoming more and more engaged in what's going on. And so now we start taking that understanding what's going into those products, and those companies that produce those consumer grade products are asking questions and asking, what are we doing to be more sustainable? What are we doing to produce this with less inputs? Or what are we doing to just be better in the environment? And that's starting to drive a lot of the regulations and a lot of expectations from the companies.
Right. When you talk about sustainability and regenerative agriculture, those are constantly being redefined a little bit, but one thing that's common across both of them is you need data to prove that is actually true for this particular field or this particular crop.
Yeah, it's not going to get any less, for sure. I mean, we've been around long enough that yield data in general has been something that's been asked about for how do I work with it for now 20 plus years or more. And the evolution has been, okay, I'll put a yield monitor in, but I'm not going to put a GPS unit on. Well, why would you do that? How do you know what was really going on in the field, and how are you going to use that later? Now it's gotten to a point where that's available, but again, we've got to get to that point where we're setting it up properly, we're naming it properly so that the information is coming in so that it's going to benefit the grower instead of being a hindrance. And the more that we're prepared for that, the better position that we're all going to be in.
So Matt, what's the key takeaway for our growers today and what they should do going forward?
It starts with getting the data right and getting it classified properly and naming properly. Because at the end of the day, we got asked today, what do I do with this data that's on a USB stick? Or how do I get this information into a spot that it can be useful? And obviously one of the opportunities that we're creating along with CVA is the product called Stratum, which is a data hub. And that's gonna centralize that information. But if we don't start at the beginning and the growers play in this, is to get the naming right and be open to moving that information, whether it's on a USB stick or whether it's on a connected device or whatever it is. As long as we get that first step done, we're off to the races for the next opportunity.
Now we can make use of it for what opportunities come.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm Tim Mundorf, Director of Soil Management here at CVA, and I've been here with Matt Hesse, the President and CEO of FieldReveal, and thank you for watching this episode of Agronomy Focus.